The Place Beyond the Pines was directed by Derek Cianfrance and stars Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, and Bradley Cooper. Motorcycle stunt rider Luke Glanton turns to robbing banks as a mean to provide for his kid, which later puts him on a collision course with a rookie police officer, Avery Cross. The first time I saw The Place Beyond the Pines, I went into the film with high expectations because I heard a lot of great things, but after watching it, I loved it 10 times more than I could have ever imagined. The Place Beyond the Pines is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's absolutely one of the best movies of the 2010s decade, and this is truly a film I could see myself watching on repeat for years on end. Now, on my first viewing for The Place Beyond the Pines, which took place nearly 5 years ago, I thought I knew where the movie was going after the first 45 minutes. Then something happens near the end of the first act, and my mind was shocked. I was just taken away by what happens at the end of the first act in this movie. And this is what a film like The Place Beyond the Pines does to you. It blows you out of the water. It completely eliminates all expectations you had for it, and it makes you draw up new conclusions for the end of this film after the first act. That is easily the best aspect of The Place Beyond the Pines. I'll tell you, I've seen several hundred movies over the last decade, and there is not a single movie out of that bunch that I could say is more shocking than The Place Beyond the Pines, because this movie comes out of nowhere from time to time. You do not see certain scenes coming from a mile away. In terms of structure, what's really great about this movie is how it is divided perfectly into 3 separate acts, and each of them are unique in itself. The first act follows Luke Glanton, the second act follows Avery Cross, and the third act follows Dane DeHaan's character. And looking deeper into the performances in The Place Beyond the Pines, these are some of the greatest performances I've seen in the 21st century so far. Ryan Gosling plays a character I've never seen him play before, and he is excellent. Bradley Cooper, this is pretty close to as good as his performance in A Star is Born, as well as some of his other excellent performances. Everyone in The Place Beyond the Pines gives it their all. This is top-tier acting at its finest. We also have Eva Mendes, who might give her all-time greatest performance. Ray Liotta is excellent in the movie. Dane DeHaan. I also, from time to time, forget that Ben Mendelsohn plays a part in this movie. He's great. But what especially intrigues me about the plot of The Place Beyond the Pines is how this movie talks so in depth about themes like regret. This theme is mostly parallel with Bradley Cooper's character, who does something he wished he did not do. He also does a few other things that are really shady, and you could see by the end of this movie that he instantly wishes he could take all of that back. The man goes through so much. Should he have not done these things? Yes, but it's too late at that point. He can't change the past. So by the end of this movie, you really do feel so much for Bradley Cooper. And every single time I watch The Place Beyond the Pines, I can't help but to think, what exactly defines a good guy and what defines a bad guy? Because in the film, Ryan Gosling, he robs banks, and Bradley Cooper is a police officer. So you might think the film will set it up having Ryan Gosling as the bad guy and Bradley Cooper as the good guy. But that's not necessarily the case. And the movie makes you think completely different about those types of characters in The Place Beyond the Pines compared to a different film. This is even one of those movies I could see being made into a TV miniseries, because every single scene feels a lot different than the other ones that came before it. And with all these scenes, they constantly keep you on edge. I've seen The Place Beyond the Pines several times now, and each time I watch this film, there are some scenes where I get anxiety. It's like I'm watching the movie for the first time again. For me, this movie's intensity level is at an all-time cinematic high in a few scenes to this day. And there absolutely are some heartbreaking moments in The Place Beyond the Pines. This is the kind of movie that makes you feel even more appreciative for things like your family, because you have no idea how much longer some of your family members will be around for. So while watching this movie, you might think to yourself, I gotta go home and give my mom and dad a big hug because I don't know how much longer I'll have them around in my life. For some characters, you know just how terrible they are feeling on the inside. Derek Cianfrance does a great job in directing this movie. Some scenes You can feel that emotion being pulled out of you. This movie can make me tear up, and that's all due to Derek Cianfrance. Plus, The Place Beyond the Pines has a phenomenal score. The Snow Angel remains as one of my all-time favorite cinematic scores. I think this movie is nearly perfect. I don't see many issues whatsoever with The Place Beyond the Pines. I praise it for its unpredictability, its characters, its cinematography, the directing coming from Derek Cianfrance. I've never seen a movie like The Place Beyond the Pines. I've been waiting for another movie to come out just like it, but I'm sure that'll never happen because The Place Beyond the Pines is very original. This movie lets us know that there is still creativity out there in Hollywood. We just have to wait for it. And I'm going to give The Place Beyond the Pines a 100%. Alright guys, for those of you who also happen to see The Place Beyond the Pines, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the film down below in the comments section. Also, this week, we have an actual movie coming out on Netflix. It's called Mank from David Fincher. The man has not made a movie since Gone Girl, so I think I'm going to watch that tomorrow and review it for you guys. As always, if you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.